It's time. Sound check team. It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and we are back. And this should be basically the last instalment of education on Infantry 343 duty first for those that want this, need this as source material. It amazes me so many people out there have gone rogue and not looked up any kind of way in preparing for their life within the uniform, the legacy of the Australian soldier. But when they do, they tend to like it here, and we help them along their way. We also like to help people like Lachlan times 3, who wants to be an Aggie and has been propaganded into thinking it's the same as infantry. Tonight's topic is going to be about season weather or terrain. The fact that you don't get to tap out, you don't get to say no. You've got to live in it, and you've got to lump it. And you'll never feel warm again until either the season changes, you pick up a hot barrel, or your mate embraces you like you're in the Navy. So join us tonight. Enjoy. Kaz, Lauren is big, as they would say in New Zealand. Lauren,
Yep,
do you have
I'm
anything
here.
to say?
Yep, I'm here. I just want to say hello.
You say goodbye. She says
Yes.
hello. Hello, hello. Hey, look, we've got Billy McGowan here already, the bearer of coffee. Wait a second. That's a cracking at you, mate. Nutsu cow, joined the military. Well done. That takes us up to 156 members. And we're only 150 subscribers off being back to 10K. But it's not about how many subscribers. It's about how many views we get. Because at the end of the day, we need to keep you entertained. Are you not entertained? I hope you are. Greek ruins over there with Rhinopolis. Guess who's below Rhinopolis?
Hang on, I'm just saying hello to everyone. I don't know. I didn't even
Will
see
I
one.
Am is here.
Oh, there you go. There's everybody's here. Look, Nicole King's here. Joshua Fawns is here. Cooper Pratton, Austin Hawkins, great moderators. S. Bryce, Jay was here really early. Zane's here. Breddy's here. He's always here. Kane is here. Mr. Buckaroony is here. Kringles, it's nice to see you. Haven't seen you at a stream for a little while. Mind you, I missed the last couple. Mags is here. Chongo is here as well. Jay Magnifico. KG McLovin is here. Everybody's here. Dave D's here. Mist Ninja's here. He's an OG.
We've got everyone
Decent
here.
folk.
I just put my glasses in so I can keep up with this stellar
Yeah.
roll call.
Yeah, exactly. I could have kept going. Everybody's here. It's a full house.
From the right number. And here they are. Okay, we've got athletic quail ills, the wingless bird. Marky Zam just submitted all my documents and gave my job preferences, Kaz. Well done, mate. Let's see what happens. And we've got Dylan throwing down the 343 there, which is equivalent to 3,430 views on a channel. Fantastic. Judy first. Hello, big fella. And beautiful Lauren. A man dressed in white once called me big fella. But the Tobruk's on the bottom of the ocean now. Lachlan by 3. Welcome to the Great Unwashed. Great to have you here, Lachlan. And Nutsu Cow, the White Warrior, what's he talking about? They're kicking the pylons down. Don't fight him, is what we're talking about. And we're going to get on with Aggie/infantry in a moment. And please, Lockie, let us know, unless you're trolling me, okay, is that your first choice, going to Aggies? Why do you want to go to Aggies? Not here to tell you not to. Okay, all I'm trying to do is educate you and give you the best chance of having not just a 4, but a potentially 40-year career. Okay, mate? And you can do that in Aggies as well. But maybe someone's told you some fake news, my man. We've got lovely Daz there, who's upgraded his Hyundai now, tossed it like a can of Pepsi, and taken up the SS Special Ute, which is what you want when you've got one friend, so you can say, car's full, mate. And there's 2 of you. Very Velma and Louise from you. New hairstyle, just trying to change it up, and Listio, because you know what? Patterns are a friend of the guerrilla fighter, and we don't want that. Starting a segment called Storytime with Uncle Buck. Funny Army Yarns. Got lots of them too. Well, Mr. Buckaroony, by popular demand, many people want you and I to do a stream. If not a Zoom session, call, but also throw in Lauren, also throw in Ed. So we've got the Alice in the centre maybe as well. Who the F is Alice?
Why not? Let's see how many we can pile in.
And if it goes to shit, we can call for a medic. We've got one right here with Mickey Stipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam the Ham. That's not an Islamic name.
Would you like me to read that?
Yeah.
My mate who wants to be an Adgie and says he wants to join because the difference between Adgie and infantry is that Adgie get a 5-star hotel and better living standards, apparently. Well, one, your friend only wants to be an Adgie, so he's really got no idea what the difference is between that and infantry for a start. Get it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
What say you?
I'd say if you want to be in 5-star hotels, go and work for the Crown.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Crown Hotel. You know, guys and gals, the more you go through in this controlled chaos of life that twists you and pulls you in different directions, that's going to define you as a human being. It's not the great things that happen to us that make our life awesome. It's the hurdles that we jump over. It's the trials and tribulations that we go through that make the foundation of mateships and friendships tested to the limits. And you know exactly who your friends are, rather than working in an accountancy firm where you go, Robin is really, really good at mathematics, isn't she? Yeah, but Paul's really good at spreadsheets. What a hoot it'd be at that barbecue. How did the All Blacks, how did the netball go on the weekend? Who will ever know? Who watched it? Sorry? Netball is not a contact sport. Will, he goes over the limit and goes for $5 there, which is 5,000 viewers. We've got a sort of a cool rule here now because we don't want you to be here based on your wallet size, and that is 343 is a pretty good, I believe, donation if you're ever going to make one to support the channel. 343, that's $3.43, which is the ECN for infantry, 343. So, Will, Nutsu cow, mate, and I'm not a fan of pears because they're part of the fruit family. But that's all right. Well, let's talk about the subject for a couple of seconds. So if you're in infantry, I'm going to talk to you here from a platoon sergeant's perspective. Why that's an important perspective to you, all of you, is not the fact that I determine what you're wearing as the administration logistics side of the SMEAC, okay, that takes you out on an orders group, but I am the discipline master. I am the guy that lays down the law of what the dress code is going to be on a patrol, etc., to allow my wisdom from being a recruit, then a private, then a lance corporal, then a section commander, and then basically a junior sergeant, middle sergeant, and senior sergeant, despite the fact we don't have those ranks. I've learned enough lessons from making mistakes myself. I've learnt mistakes by watching others make the mistakes. And I don't want you to make the same ones. And if I do, I'm going to laugh in my jocks while you make those mistakes. And one of those is season weather or terrain. I want to show you a picture for a second. It's very easy to look at this picture and think, holy shit, that looks cold. And it is. But they've probably got the clothing that they're wearing that matches that said terrain. What about this one? Bam, the sun is broken. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're in a patrol, when you're in a field environment, when, to me, the definition of cold or wet is when you cannot foresee the next possible time that you will be warm or dry. When you cannot see a finish line. When there is nothing you can do to change your predicament. That is when you are truly wet or true goddamn firer when you fire it. So what's it going to do to those on the other end of the sharp stick, so to speak? And this weapon has no recoil. Having said that, it has a back blast danger area, which means if I was standing where we are right now behind this guy and he fires, then you need to put in a lost and found for my eyebrows, my morale, future hairline, and possibly the clothing I have, including my nipples that'd stick to it, like some idiot that went shirtless on a brand new boogie board at Christmas. So guys and gals, what am I getting at? Dave will be able to tell you this. Stoddy will be able to tell you this. You can become wounded just by the actual surroundings, the temperature, whether it be heat exhaustion, heat illness, heat sickness, where people just start vomiting for no reason, or it can be somewhere which completely changes your value system, where you will hug a man for pleasure just to escape the curse of coldness, the feeling of divorce upon your skin as you wish that you're in the sleeping bag with a fatter person. So, what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is you don't get to choose what you're going to wear despite the fact that you're carrying it. Before we go out on a patrol in the morning, okay, we'll say drop hoochies before the sun comes up to start morning routine, to start stand 2. Before colour can be differentiated, okay, so we can pick up whether there is that time of the morning where potentially a dawn attack on our position, so everyone shuts the hell up, opens their eyes, except their brown one, and just focuses on what is to their front in a defensive or protective posture. From there, what happens is you're going to be freezing your ass off. You're on your guts, despite the fact that the ground might be cold and you've been in a warm sleeping bag all night. Always wear a T-shirt regardless of the weather underneath. Stops the mosquitoes proboscis. And then what you need to do is wait. We don't have breakfast, we don't have lunch, and we don't have dinner. You eat when you get an opportunity. So we start dying as soon as we go out field. Believe me, team. It's like a factory reset where you come back with abs, but they're not muscle. It's just your spine sticking through your guts. And basically what happens is I will let you know we're going out on patrol. I don't care if it's 0 degrees. I don't want you wearing thermals underneath at all, under no circumstance. Wait a sec. We've got Kyle.
Yep.
Welcome to the Great Unwashed. Wait a second. Nutsu Cow, thanks for being a member. A month from now, you're going to be a Lance Jack. That rank sucks. That's 1 stripe. Then you're going to be a section commander a month after that. Then 6 months mark, you're going to be a sergeant. And then you're in charge of the food and telling people you cannot wear that jacket. No raincoats. No chewing gum. All of these things become distractions. You don't know what's about to happen. If H hour suddenly happens, bam, patrol clash. If a situation occurs and you do not get time to go administratively and remove needless equipment, and you go into the fight overheating and becoming casualties despite the fact you haven't been hit by anything kinetically, your own stupidity, you've scored a home goal, you have stolen defeat from the hands of victory because of your own folly, immaturity, and human weakness, and disobeying a lawful command to not wear something that you were told not to by people that are smarter due to wisdom, not necessarily intelligence. We've got...
There's a green cow.
I know, but what's the name? I can't read it, mate, because my eyes are buttons.
Joss.
Ross, did you say?
Joss.
Jossie. Hey, Kaz, love your sack. No, sorry, your work. Just waiting for an enlistment date and going for infantry. Then this is the channel you need to be on, mate. And I look forward to getting you there. I am your caddy. And if you call me Betty, I will call you Al. Thank you for being here, Nutsu Cow, the White Warrior. You're about to join in winter, and I'm going to laugh my asshole off because there's no easy way around it. Guys and gals, we ask people all the time, and remember, the role of the infantry to seek out and close your enemy, to kill or catch him, to seize and hold ground, to repel attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain, and you need to learn that and learn it quickly because you're going to live it. You're going to represent Australia doing it. It's you. Try it on. You're going to love it. We've got Hutto Kirkland, the voice of the people. Nutsu Cow, the White Warrior. What have you got to say? Hutto Kirkland, the land of Kirks, girt by Kirk. Good to have you here, Captain.
Do
Kirk.
you have the Magic Invisible book?
We do have it here.
Yeah, because there's someone here says the name is Izami Zane. Don't join in winter, enlisting for infantry on June the 13th.
June the 13th. You're at Kapuka and Singo for winter.
Yep.
Oh, that's a nutsu cow right there. Guys, I've got no sympathy for you. It's like, oops. I'll put that here and I'll put it in the book because that's the second green book I've got here. So, can you please say the name and the date?
Yep, sure. It was, sorry, I've just got past it. Hang on, I've got it again. Isa Me Zane.
Izzo?
ISSA Me
Yep.
Zane. All one word.
So, he's insane.
Yeah. Or it's a me, a Zane. Like, it's a me, a Mario. June the 13th.
That's going to suck, my friend. I joined on the 4th of July, and that sucked. Guys and gals, the people at Kapuka right now be telling you it's goddamn freezing in the mornings. Yeah. Sometimes it can take, even in Townsville, up to 10:30 in the morning before the sun actually feels like it's not broken, like it has any heat whatsoever. It truly, truly sucks. God should punish it. It's not doing its job. Its batteries are low. When the solar has no solar power, who can you turn to? The coldness that you're going to feel in training is terrible. The reason is you don't have a voice when you're at Kapuka, and you don't have a voice really at the School of Infantry, Singleton, because you have to learn, everything. And it is season weather or terrain. We don't turn off training that is scheduled because it's raining. You're going to go out there regardless, season weather or terrain, and they're going to just say to you, what's the role of the infantry? And you're going to be thinking, Jerry, as they piss you off by saying that. But guys and gals, you can be in Townsville, for example. The people that were in Brisbane, 6R and 8-9, they had no warning necessarily when Interfet came up that was on the equator. It doesn't get hotter than that. You've got a ball on either side of the hemispheres. Your sweat is basically dried up. You know, your boots are white from the salt that leaves, which causes you to have the headaches, which causes you to have the cramps, which causes all the heat-related situations. You know, because that is as hot as it gets, but you can come from a cold climate and you don't get time to acclimatise because you have to hit the ground running. Vice versa, you could have been from the 2nd Battalion, 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 2nd and none, amphibious, light infantry, recon based. You know, or you could be from 7 RAR, 5 RAR, 6 or 8, 9, 3 RAR, and you could be going to Afghanistan, and Afghanistan can have the heat of a passionate love session in Singapore in summer, or it can go the other way, and you could be there and be the snows of winter in Afghanistan and then be working up in the mountains while there's gale force winds. You don't get to choose, and Australia doesn't get to say no. So season weather terrain means a hell of a lot. And we even have an area in our orders group that says weather will have no effect on mission. And not for officers it won't, but for the soldier that goes, so they're not calling it off. We'll even bullshit to ourselves, grown-ass men, looking at each other in the eye going, they're not going to send us out in this, are they? They wouldn't do that. But you don't realise the guy that is telling you to go out there and dominate is actually stoked that the weather is like this, who has a coffee that's burning his hands through the ceramic cup he holds, while he whistles and looks at, illegally, the corporal who will eventually marry and no one talks about across the CP. He's actually laughing at the folly as someone moves your blue blip that represents the lives of 30 souls across that snow-covered map. Like Command and Conquer.
We've got some comments if you're okay to do some.
Throw those comments out there. I'm getting hot under the collar, so to speak.
Yeah, I could hear it. I could tell that you needed it. Change your direction. Okay, Kyle Hucker has said, cheers, Kaz. Just waiting to be medically cleared, then hopefully going in as a recovery mechanic. Pretty keen.
That was my father's role, mate, in Vietnam. It's a soft spot for me. I love Ramey. They're good blokes. Too busy to be regimental. Love them. Ramey, out there, good on yous.
Yep. And someone, Joel Maka,
She's only a woman to me.
has,
Joel.
has asked, I think they mean, is it hard to get back into the army if you went AWOL but faced your charges and then ROR? So no dishonourable discharge, question mark. I don't understand.
That he's saying that he went AWOL, came back, got charged, and then said, I don't want to be here anymore, and requested to get out. I wouldn't employ you again. I wouldn't if I was on the other side of the table. You've got a full house of people trying to join the military, and you've got someone who's gone AWOL. It didn't work out for him. That's fine. But then came back and was forgiven for their sins and then said, well, I don't want to be here anymore. You know, I don't know what the circumstances, mate, and I'm sure there's two sides to the story. But at the end of the day, I want to back Australia's money, resources on dependability through the HR department on those who I can rely on to my left and right. If you've got an administrational dilemma that drags you away, okay, either one, you don't know how to deal with the situation, or maybe it's unavoidable. I don't know, because if it was avoidable and it was something that was compassionate, they would have given you compassionate leave to go and sort that out and back squatted you and then said come back and keep going. But I don't know, I'd apply, man. Don't listen to just my words, mate. Go back, ask them, and say I'm a different dude now. This is why. Understand you're concerned. Deal with the elephant in the room, and then, bam. Not the power of Christ compel you, but throw a Hail Mary and you might just get what you need.
You never know. Keep going until they say no.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what? Take your signature seriously. If you sign something, you stay until you finish.
Yeah, exactly. Make your word your bond. Make it mean something.
But not bondage.
Do we have dishonourable discharge?
No, but they need to bring it back, and that's something I need to put in a video. We need to be able to have something that glows on a resume, that this person has honourable service to not just Her Majesty, okay, but to the sovereign soil of Australia and its citizens. You know, because I want to know if you were in the army, yeah, but were you good? Did you stay in? Were you a shit fight? You know, I don't know. Just the fact that you served doesn't mean you're a great bloke or lass.
Yep. Exactly, and that is true. You know, we need to remember that they're humans and decisions, folks. Like we said, be careful, make good choices. They can have big consequences.
Big. We've got a photo I've just put up here now. I saw this and I thought, why? I would never make you do this. There is no functional reason to do this either. I don't know if you can see the screen, Lauren.
I can. Why?
The ice that is there, these are South Korean, I believe. That is ice, not water.
Right. That's the photo you were telling me about before. And where are those folk from?
South Korea, I believe, who are our allies, by the way. Wait a sec. We've got an Asian cow.
Yep, Ben James, and he wants to know, are you having a good day?
Look, mate, I'm having a good day. My daughter, went and got the first instalment of her braces put on today, and she was a champion. You know, she's a 9-year-old little girl. I understand that this is a shitty time for a kid to go through, and most of them go through it. She handled it like a champion, unlike a father. You know, so I've had a great day, mate. And thank you very much, sir. That is 14,990 views worth of shekels that YouTube wouldn't normally pay me to be able to have my coffees, or to be able to give coffees out, or to be able to give a Coca-Cola to my daughter to brush her teeth because Colgate, you know.
Hey, come on.
I'm joking, team.
You just paid for those braces. You can't be doing that now.
Thank you very much for the support, mate. It's absolutely appreciated. Absolutely.
My kids have been sporting billies lately. My youngest one made the volleyball team, and my second but youngest is going to have his first boxing match soon. First fight.
Yep, let's just hope he doesn't cop it in the ring.
Oh, come on now.
What? Why do women always take it to the gutter?
Yeah, because we hung around you blokes so long. We know what you're thinking.
And Benny James, give us a question, bro. Throw one out.
Yeah,
Test
sure.
us. What would you do as fantastic people in chat there if you heard, righto, put your wetsuits on, team? You'd be like,
Yep.
what? And
Wait,
you're
what?
and you're going out and you're going, what would be the tactical reason for this? Because everything we do in the military, this should be a good thing. We explain to you why we do it. In this lesson, you will be taught, fill in the blank. The reason you were taught this, statement of relevance, fill in the blank. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to achieve, fill in the blank. So we'll let you know how you went too. You really screwed that one. As a matter of fact, when everyone goes to War Memorial, okay, not War Memorial, when everyone pretends to be religious on Sunday at Kapuka, you're going to come back and be doing retests, team. And there will be time allocated for that. We've got Luke, became voice of the people. Lukey,
Yep.
Nutsu cow, my hand's getting sore here, team. Wouldn't that be funny if we gave everyone a voice of the people Discord? It just sounded like a bloody the stock market floor. Talking about the stock market just for 2 seconds, Lauren. For those that didn't see me on Instagram today, I don't know what I think about Instagram, but
I don't know either. I'm going to start trying to use it again. I'm a bit slack at it.
yeah, it's like a slave rower. You're just going to get caught sometimes just not doing your job. Anyway, did you know that on the 22nd of March in 2010, if you've been keeping up with Dogecoin and
Yep.
keeping up with Bitcoin, which is creating what they call these days dragon wealth, which means people that don't necessarily have the category of, what would you call it? Hardworking, fill in the blank, become past astronomical wealth by believing in hype and investing in it. Well, Bitcoin at the moment is 56,000 US dollars per coin, and that's after a massive downturn. Well, in 2010, the 22nd of March, the very first transaction that was done successfully was done by a gentleman for 2 pizzas. He paid 10,000 Bitcoin for those 2 pizzas, which means he bought 2 pizzas for 570 million US dollars in today's money. And that was only 11 years ago. So every time someone says, don't believe in this, don't do this, also look at the fact, and I am not a financial advisor, I'm telling you now, every 4 years, it's never dropped. We're looking at something we don't understand. I can't even remember my Netflix log on. So it makes it dangerous for me to have a cryptocurrency wallet. But you're going to see those that have and those that have nots, all based around some weird shit in the future that can pay 100 times what your military wage on operations is. It's a funny one. We've got LAMBO, Delan, and he's here saying, buy a stranger coffee from myself and all the community. Guys, he's going rogue. Remember, 343 is the figure.
Great.
But Delan and I have been pretty close lately. Nutsu cow went a little bit high on the hand. And thank you very much, Dylan. And for that, I'll let you be the last one into the water. Thank you very much, mate.
Wouldn't that be worse? Wouldn't it be better just to get it over and done with?
I've tortured some people in the cold water in the past, but I'm always willing, when you turn up to my PT sessions, I'll always be wet before you turn up. And I don't mean excited, because I want you to never think, oh, we'll push him in the pool. I'll always be wet as have me pump on from doing push-ups, and may even have a swimsuit model like we had in Singleton there to stare at you bare-chested, either concentrating on your love handles or your fucking shit, pardon language, or the tattoo that you shouldn't have got in the spot that probably looked good when you had abs but now looks like shit. Then we'll make you so exhausted that you'll actually use that same love handle as leverage to help you out of the swimming pool. And we used to call that the everybody's jiggling, so you become the teabag session.
Yeah. Here's a question from Sonate.
Okay.
Can you call transfer once in IETs?
You can, but I'll quickly explain that. And that's an excellent question, by the way, mate. And that is, you can't just go, this is not working out for me. We've got a really goddamn hard PT session tomorrow. Because I'm telling you, when you go from Kapuka to Singleton, the first thing you're going to think is you're not in Kansas now, Dorothy. It is goddamn hard. And that is before you're starting to carry an injury. That's why you'll have a big fallout rate in Kapuka, but you'll have a big fail rate in the School of Infantry. And some of that is because you've been let down by the lack of gates and physical standards that should have been there and were there in Kapuka up until recently, before quotas, etc., started coming in. Hey, Nicole King.
Yeah, as always.
Nutsu Cow. And I thought that was Tweety Bird for a second. I'd love to talk to the King and Queen here to ask, what are your thoughts on Megan and Harry? They're digging themselves even deeper.
Oh, I've got opinions, and I'm trying. You know me, I'm a bit cromedy today. Better I don't start on that.
Oh, Harry, shut the F up.
Look, seriously, taking sanctimonious hypocrisy to the extreme so hard. I'm cringing so hard. I'm going to die.
Hey, what's Lukey saying down there?
Okay, yeah, he's just become a member, and he asked these questions earlier, but I couldn't scroll back that far to find them, so I just asked him to repeat them.
Okay, can we quickly say goodbye to Mr. P? Look, he's off to watch the final of the Lego. Awesome. You know, if it makes you laugh, it makes you happy. You know, you've done your time, Mr. Patterson. It's fine, mate. Go and have a good time. Remember, the only time, you know, that people should be crying and taking offence is when they actually step on Lego with bare feet.
Yeah, exactly. Good night, Mr. P. Good night, John Boy.
Yeah, good night, sir.
Okay, Luke is here. Hi, Kaz. My name is Luke Q. I'm new to the channel. Welcome, Luke. I subscribed about a week ago, and so far I'm enjoying your content and finding it very helpful. I have applied for the Army, and I have a meeting on Thursday with my career coach to find out what would be the best job role for me. If I was to pick that as my career, I think he's talking about infantry in the ADF, what would be the best advice you could give me to achieve the title of infantry soldier?
Okay. This is what you need to look at. This is what you need to really consider. The corps you go to is normally going to be around, one, the role, okay, which is seek out and close the enemy, kill, catch him, seize and hold ground, repel, attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather, terrain. And really let those words sink in and understand this might not be 4 years, it might be 40 years, but also the sort of other people that are no fugazis, no fake diamonds, they're going to be there around you. Okay? And you need to go, do I want to do that? Is that what I want to be? Or does it just sound good, sound tough, but do I really want to go to war with the Spartans? Remember also, when you go in there, you're going in saying that's what you want to do, and to everyone else, awesome, 343, excellent. But also remember something from this coach. Was he infantry? These coaches, that if someone's from infantry, they can give you some sort of advice on all subjects. Yeah, but most corps can't give you any idea what it's like to be in infantry, or might even have a negative connotations towards it. You know, because there's a weird bias that happens. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happens. But anyway, be very careful that you're not pushed into a position for another role, an alternative, that is not what you wanted to do, which is not what makes you want to put your feet or your footprints in the sand and follow the footsteps of the Anzacs. Because there's something inside your soul that wants you to join the army that was not about the pay group. It was about the life of adventure. It was about deploying into a role that makes you a 1% of a 1% without owning a Harley Davidson. You know, so all I'd say to you is think very seriously. You know, do you have what it takes? You don't have to be a perfect example. We'll turn you into the best you can be, or injure you along the way. Can you do it? Yeah, I reckon most people could. But I think there is a disconnect between reality of today's society, what they can do and what they're willing to do and what they've done to prepare themselves for it. Yep, interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Good advice from Dylan Lambo Lamb. Don't let them push you into a role you don't want. Because somebody up here, sorry, I've lost your comment. I was going to bring it to you, said that they wanted to do, I think it might have even been Drunk Aussie, said that they wanted to do infantry, but they were telling him it was like quite a long wait for that, and that he should do, I think it was artillery instead or something like that. I'm probably wrong, but it was something along those lines.
Look, I don't mean to be nasty to those that are in artillery. They have saved our bacon, so to speak, even if you're Islamic, several times in the past. But what I will tell you, in peacetime, I don't believe that you should bank on going to artillery. I don't think it's a corps that looks after you. They've had relatively poor morale for a long time, and I'm not sure why. And I don't say this out of any agenda other than to try and look after you, you know. It's the same deal if someone goes to AGI and they think that they're going there because it's like infantry, which has got nothing, almost no similarities to, but it's the toughest guys in RAF other than the fighter pilots. And they probably actually do play volleyball with no shirts on and probably do wear their dog tags when they go out. But, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's an interesting one. Jacob Lawler says, hey, Kaz, I ruptured my ACL last year and got surgery. My knee is fully recovered now. My physio, he was in the army, told me not to tell DFR about it. Do you agree with this?
It's a tough one because at the end of the day, if you've had a ruptured ACL, do you really want to potentially become a cripple by the fact that your body has failed because of the pressures and rigors of training of something you're doing? If you were to lie to them, remembering that you also signed something that says everything that I have said and submitted is honest and it's a legal document.
Yeah, it's a legally binding document and you need to take that seriously.
Look, there is, I always say, what you don't want to do is win at all costs and become a cripple. It's one of the biggest reasons why I say that I don't want females in infantry is because my 50% might be their 85%. They might be able to achieve some of these tasks, but for how long? And some of the injuries they can take from weight bearing. I don't know too many ladies that can carry 70 kilos. I know that I've blown eye vessels, in my eyes from lifting up packs before.
Yeah, I don't even weigh 70 kilos.
Well, I didn't weigh 70 when I came back from East Timor either. And if you doubt the weights we're talking about our body armour ensemble. We're talking about your ammunition, your weapons. We're talking about your helmet and body armour. We're talking about 20 litres of water was the standard. Mortar bombs if you were carrying them. And all of the other bullshit that you had to carry. And because we're a light infantry with dismount and we're not in armoured vehicles, you were carrying that shit and with no end date. The first trip was only 4 months, which meant you didn't get sent home. There was no R&R. It was just go from the start to the finish. And then all of a sudden you're back home again going, where's my rifle? Am I on picket next? Because it started and finished so quickly. It was like a fart in a cyclone.
Oh, gosh.
If that makes sense.
Good night, David Penson.
Hey, Dave, from Vietnam.
He's been here for ages.
That guy's doing it right. XY1, lives in Vietnam, making his dollar go further, where no one screws with you unless you're really playing with the life of someone else or disturbing others in their daily business. You could probably say he's freer there than what we are here.
Yep, exactly. Here's a question from Mr. Military, 1945.
Oh.
He says, hey, Kaz, just marched out of Kapuka.
Excellent.
Do you know what the Infantry Mod 2 entails for reservists?
I would imagine that Mod 1 would be learning all your weapons, learning all of your equipment, and Mod 2 would be the field phase, which would be the test of objectives of everything you've been taught, including potentially live firing, night activities, patrolling, platoon culmination event, a walkout, some form of arduous activity like the hardcore. Quite often they can't push you to the same levels that they can of regular soldiers, for the simple reason we don't have enough time with you to graduate your training and develop that and get it harder and harder over the 12, 13 weeks that we have, because that's broken. We won't get the opportunity to do that to you. So the standard level of culminating activity will not be the same, but it will still be hard, believe me. And it will probably be in winter, and you'll get to do the obstacle course, which sounds great if you like Australian Ninja Warrior, but it is anything but a pleasure. And you will find out what it feels like to have a head that weighs more than what your neck muscles can hold, and your shirt will truly have 8 Mile Mum spaghetti on your shirt already.
Yeah, exactly.
We will push you to the point where you will wish you were born a woman, I'm going to put these back on. It feels weird without it. And it covers my scallops, so to speak.
You look good in your glasses.
No, this is the headphones.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Guys and gals, honestly, I really appreciate the fact that you actually trust me to be in a position where you come on here without the ability to have a voice and be able to go, look at this guy. Sometimes a dick. Sometimes wisdom prevails, because it is so hard for people to give over the reins and say, give me something to live on, to work on. But I don't like some of the advice that's coming from these so-called coaches, etc., on your careers. I take you seriously. We're going to do a video soon on bush soldier as opposed to barrack soldier, as opposed to combination of, so you realise what sort of paper, scissors, rock is your career going to be. Okay? I'm not a barrack soldier.
Yeah.
But I didn't always like bush either. So where does that put me?
I don't know, somewhere in the middle.
Look at the mateship of this thumbnail. These two lovely lasses. I hope her safety catches on, dragging their buddy out of harm's way.
Yeah, it's a great photo.
It is.
They just want their country to love them.
Like they love it, little battlers.
Exactly. Ches is here.
Hey, Ches.
Hi, I've been watching your channel for a while. God, I love you lurkers, and I love it heaps when you jump in the chat, and it's so great. So hello to all the lurkers who haven't yet jumped into the chat. I've been watching your channel for a while, and I'm considering a role in the ADF as a helicopter pilot. Do you know if I would be able to go into this role, or would I have to be in the infantry first?
Well, that's an excellent question. I've got an excellent answer. Okay. You don't get to choose what you want to do. Okay, so basically the way this would pan out for you, and there's no reason why you can't become a helicopter pilot. Okay, but what would happen is you will go and you'll do your aptitude test. They might say straight away, you are never going to be a pilot. Okay, then you might end up going, well, what am I going to go to aviation? And then mates rates go in there and go, well, I want to be a loadmaster. So you might start as ground crew in aviation. And if they say yes, you go over there, double glazed windows, chocolate milk for free while getting paid to drink chocolate milk in double glazed windows, and all the bases around Australia, helicopters, not Air Force. And then from there, you might say, well, I want to do the testing for loadmaster or for pilot. Normally, they want you to be an officer if you're going to be a pilot. You don't have to be an officer to be, and you won't be an officer to be a loadmaster. The loadmaster is the one that deals with the miniguns, the one that deals with all the fundamentals and administration that happens with that craft, with the landing, advising the fuel consumptions, all these sort of things, the planning data. Excellent role. You get to wear that big buck helmet with a massive blowfly screen that makes you look like you should be swiped right on any Tinder until you take the helmet back off, and then oh, Jesus. That guy looked like Top Gun until he took it off. He was Viper. Now he's Blowfly.
Oh, gosh. Here's one from, let me just find it. I just had it. Rocco's Transformation.
That sounds like a porn star.
Yeah, it does. Do you learn hand-to-hand combat in the Australian Infantry?
You do. You do learn it, but it's not a very big focus. One of the reasons why we learn it is, one, it needs to be taught because it's about controlled aggression too. Okay, dealing out violence without actually being angry. But what we don't do is go into the intricacies because it needs continuation training, which is far too time consuming, considering you're almost guaranteed to never use it because we don't put ourselves in that position as such. But we do learn it, but we learn it in a different way. We learn to use entanglement methods to tie up the opposition, and then we use our buddies, call for their assistance when we can, and at the nearest possible time they come over and use anything to direct kinetic energy and take the life of that person in the least amount of hits, humanely, if you will.
Right, I understand that. Have you got the Nearly Invisible Magic book?
It's we're putting it on this sheet here because I'm not sure where the green book is because I did something stupid and cleaned my room.
No, that's not stupid. You'll find it, but that's always the way. Winnie007 says, "G'day, Kaz. I'm going in on June the 1st, and I have a mate who went Rusingo before me and said that the most they carry is 25 kilograms. Surely not."
That's in. Is he talking about Kapuka?
I think perhaps he is.
He's talking about Kapuka because
he's talking about.
No, that wouldn't be the case. I'm going to explain something to you here. That's impossible. I'm going to explain why. Because your combat ensemble weighs nearly 22 kilos before you put your pack on. Your body armour, your helmet, your night vision equipment, with your plates in, with your ammunition, with your water, and everything that goes with it, and your rifle, if you're not carrying the gun, taps out around 22 kilos. So that's even before you put on your pack, and your pack will have at least 6 litres of water in it. It's not... Oops. What just happened?
What happened?
This is going to go to shit now, I think. I accidentally... Technical!
It appears to be still working.
Is that still working, team?
Let us know if it's still working.
We just had a blowout. Is that still working?
No one's complaining.
Oh. Come, said the boy. And they said, get back on your ship.
Yeah. JP had a blowout on his plugger the other day.
You can look like a fool. Never try to steal a TV wearing pluggers, I tell you. Yeah. Yeah. And guys and gals, have we ever told you how much ammunition you actually carry as a soldier? I don't know where the magic number came from either. The with your actual for assault weapons, you know, it's 210 rounds, 7 magazines. Okay, for a machine gun, it's 800 rounds, regardless of it being a Mag 58, which is 7.62, or whether it is 5.56 or 223, as you'd call it. 800 rounds, and it can be more than that if you go into a defensive location and have to take more ammunition in. And 800 rounds weighs over 20 kilos when it's 7.62. That's on top of a 14 kilo gun and spare barrel. That's on top of your 22 kilos. Oh, well, it's not. It's included in your 22 kilos. It's going to skyrocket, and that's before you got your marching order on. And you always weigh more at the start of a patrol than what you do at the end. Because there is no easy way to do infantry. But I believe that we work the least out of everyone. We have the most adventure out of everyone. We get to have the most fun out of everyone. And that's why I did it. Because I joined the army for the adventure. Okay. And I have no regrets. I had an absolute bloody ball. And I want you to. And don't take life too seriously.
Yeah, you guys were a lot of fun.
Yep. Even in danger, we were laughing all the time.
Yeah, you still are. You still are fun. Okay. BXGZ.
Yes.
Says, hey, Kaz, what are your thoughts on armoured vehicle crew?
Fantastic. Fantastico, as Mario would say. We're in a little bit of a quantum leap of existence in the military at the moment. Now, if you're talking about actually armoured corps, fantastic. Small team. I usually recommend that for people a little bit older if you join the army 21 plus, because you're going to have some intimacy with one or two other people. You know, they're going to be a little bit older. If there's only 3 of you there, then you want to have more to talk about than just footy scores. But you're going to actually have a role to do, but you're also going to have a vehicle to always be maintaining, something always to do. And just because it's raining doesn't mean that you close down like you're in a battle run, close the turret. You might be still cruising along with your head still sticking out like a tick on a dog's ball sack, and, from there, because you need the most sensory awareness. Or you might have soldiers on the ground outside there. But it's a great job and career. And I think that Armoured Corps comes only a close second behind infantry. But they are behind infantry. That's what I say.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. XT says, hey, man, remember me? My mum went off to train last year. She's outfield right now. She drives the 40 Mike.
40 Mike? She drives the 40 Mike?
Huh?
She drives the 40 Mike?
That's what he says.
What's a 40 Mike?
Don't have a clue.
There's 40 millimetre, the grenade launcher. Sorry, guys, someone threw a question up there before and said, how up to date am I with the training with the Australian soldiers? And what I'll say is I don't agree with some of the training that I see of Australian soldiers. And I think that there's a love affair with Afghanistan, and people need to realise we're not going backwards. The next area is going to have its own threats. It's going to have its own demands, and we shouldn't live in the past when it comes with our training, but we should learn from the trends of the errors that have been made, whether that be in the jungle, whether that be in urban, whether that be in the deserts or whether it be in open country or mountainous locations. We need to be not a master of all, but prepared to do all, regardless of season, weather or terrain. So, what was I getting at? Equipment can change. Technology can change.
Apparently it's replacing the MOG truck, a Ford Mike. Right.
Okay. I would transport. They're just different shaped Uber to me, mate. Sorry.
Yep.
And I'm glad to see them turn up when they do. Yeah. It's the training and the soldiering. The principles of being a soldier don't change. And that's why this is an evergreen channel, which we can always be talking about the HR, what makes the human that makes the soldier. And despite the fact that you may be despicable to some people within our society, most of those leaning left or those that have never played sport, you are the ingredient, the culture that wins in the second half of the football match. You have the dog in the fight. Yep. You don't see many champion boxers coming from private schools.
Yes, indeed. She's posted up to Laverack, so
Townsville, 3 Brigade.
Yep.
The land of bad tattoos, Mexican food, and the sea view. And vinegar. You don't never need it or never need to buy it at the chip shops because it's already at the beach waiting for you to get stung by an irukandji.
And then you got to dodge the crocs too.
And we're not talking about the basketballers.
Yeah. Exactly. Someone asked if you have an NRL team that you barrack for. Surely you're big Cowboys, right?
I am a Cowboys supporter the whole way. I've got the jersey, which was greatly appreciated, and it's hanging right now in my closet just in front of the sailor who's waiting to come out of it.
Yeah.
He'd better not be wearing my jersey.
Yeah. Okay, here's an interesting one from Snako 204576.
Snake eyes.
Hey Kaz, would state police counter-terrorism units such as CERT compare to SAS or One Commando, I think this means, when it comes to combat capability?
All I've got to say is Lint Cafe, mate. The one chance they had to look legit, and they absolutely screwed up every single part of it. No. They're training normally for someone with a knife or a bolt-action rifle or pistol. Military are training for conventional warfare, seeking out and not just closing with the enemy, but it being a strategic asset on the ground, shaping politics in a region. Don't look at just the gunplay and think it's similar. Okay, those guys are going out for weeks and weeks at a time, not looking after a fugitive, and that's absolutely no disrespect on those guys that are working day in, day out, for the day that the glass breaks, where they can lose a brother as well. I don't, but I don't believe there's a similarity. I don't. You know, I've had a lot of guys that came from one commando, that came for their sergeant's courses, all that sort of stuff, and it was a real eye-opening experience as being their instructor for them, not so much for me. You know, and quite often it was sad to see some project themselves beyond their skates and come undone in front of brand new lieutenants, okay, that were hoping to get better advice, timely advice, but they were quite often in deep water or hot water. But if you had have said to them, okay, let's go and do some of your stuff, they'd be fine. Yeah. But it's just when you make the comparison to SASR, I'd say no, it's not the same.
Yeah, indeed. Hang on, I saw something back there. I was just having a little chat with someone. Sorry, I dropped the ball. I've been away. Good night, Nicole King.
Can I throw one caveat in there? But I'm sure there's people there that with training would qualify and absolutely be an asset to SASR or to Commando, not just one Commando. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. The rats, you may have to scroll back to the beginning. We've covered a lot of ground tonight already.
Hey, Nicole, see you later, and I hope that there's nothing hiding under your bed, love.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What's the rats need to know?
What's the what? The rats wants to know what's been going on so far in this night's stream.
We're basically just talking about don't join the military in winter. You won't have a choice. You'll get told when. Yeah. And the fact that, you know, you won't get much notice before you go to another climate. The fact that you don't get to choose what you patrol in. The fact that winter absolutely takes the soul out of the man. And you can feel like you're metaphorically taking a beating, okay, just simply by the elements, and that's without the threat, okay, that's involved. Now, we won't look at that one. That looks like fake news. That's just a photo up there. That's crazy. I wouldn't join that military. I wouldn't want you to. But if we look at this one, those guys could have quite easily come from somewhere like Brisbane or Townsville and be in a location like that. You know, there's not special snow troops. You just get sent there and you need to be season weather or terrain, ready to buck up. Yep. Anyway.
Yep. Okay. Are you good to move along?
Yeah.
Oh, Chongo has a question. Hey, Kaz. Is it mainly infantry soldiers that make SF, or do others from other battalions do well?
Well, you've got to be able to get the terminology right, Chongo. Battalions are basically from infantry, you know, from the Royal Australian Regiment. So you've got your 1 RAR, 2 RAR, 3 RAR, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9. And then you've got your 2 Commando, Special Forces, Commandos. You've got 1 Commando, Commandos, which is Army Reserve. And you've got Special Air Service Regiment. Now, the difference between Special Air Service Regiment and Commandos is you have to be infantry to go to Commandos. You have to be. They're gunned up, advanced infantry, right? Stormtroopers, so to speak, where they're acting on known information, go in, and they're called the Sledgehammer, okay? And their slogan is without warning. They just turn up, do their damage, break all your toys, and then take your missus with them, and then they're out of the village. SASR, okay, are the scalpel. Those guys, all right, they are who dares wins. Right? And what they'll do is they will be more reconnaissance information based, but still have a strategic a kinetic capability of higher assets available to them to be able to direct those onto strategic targets. You know, and they have so many different elements to them, you know, but you don't have to be infantry.
Okay, fair enough.
They will take people from different backgrounds if you can pass their course. And sometimes they say that infantry is not a requisite, but sometimes it's not always a positive because they still want to be able to train you in a unique way. It's what do you offer a team of 4, okay, as a team or onwards. Yep.
Yeah, okay. XT wants me to tell you that his mum's in 4 RAR Ordnance. I think he means Corps.
4 RAR? There's no 4 RAR. That was disbanded.
Yeah.
I used to be part of 4R in the 2nd 4th Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment.
Yeah,
4 field?
might mean that.
There's
Yeah,
4 field, that's artillery.
Better just check that, XT. Okay, here's a question. I'm sure I saw a couple of good ones. Where was I up to? Jacob Lawler, who I think we were talking about the ACL thing in his knee before, he said, well, I went with the number 1 surgeon in my state and best physio in my area. Not if he's not the best physio anywhere if he's telling you to lie to ADF recruiting. And that's just my 2 cents worth, because that is not professional one bit. That's not good advice. The rehab went well, surgery was successful. I'm able to perform at the same ability as if I hadn't had surgery. Well, they'll be able to tell all that, but I still would not advise lying about it at all, because you could actually dash your hopes with that lie.
Or any other government job.
Yeah, exactly, more than your injury.
And you know what? If they've done a good job, you've got to remember too, there, Jacob, that when you make an appeal, as long as you are able to bring on new medical evidence, they will look at that. And there might be a functionality test and all these sort of things. They might say, we just need basically your specialist practitioners who have got no idea about infantry either.
Yeah.
Or what goes in it, to give their signature saying they vouch for you. Because the Army's not disliking you. What they want to do is avoid $1 million compensation payout or more because they took on broken goods or someone with too many kilometres on their ACL, and then it snaps again and you become a cripple, mate. No one wants that, man. We want you to have the best life. Not live in the fast lane and then limp for the rest of your life, mate. I know guys with knees, I swear to God, they might as well have been hookers, spending their life on their knees. They're just smoked. One of our great friends, Donald Trump, he can hardly walk, with his knees sometimes. And we've got my other mate, Matty Alul, and his legs are so bad that if a policeman said, get on your knees, put your hands behind your back, he'd have to say, no, I can't. My knees are so destroyed that I can't kneel. My knees, no drama. None.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Exactly. Yeah, it is weird. But yeah, you're still better off. They'll be able to tell, I'm sure. I'm sure they've got the ability to tell. You're trusting them with your life. You may as well trust them to be able to understand what they're looking at.
And honestly, my man, you don't want the cover-up to be bigger than the crime.
No, and it could easily be. That could really snowball and go against you. John James has asked, what's the difference between Canungra and Tully?
Oh, well, Canungra is nowhere near as wet. Canungra has its own, that's down near Brisbane team. It has its own challenges, Stand 9, I think is called. I've never actually done the actual course, and this is something you need to know. Doing Tully or doing Canungra is like the RAF doing Top Gun. You turn up there and there's a package that you do and you pass or you fail. It's testing criteria with directing staff who are divorced from your call sign but embedded and let you know how you performed. Okay? So Canungra is very hilly. It's very dry. Sometimes it can be bloody wet. It's it's not the same sort of close country. It's like Lantana as opposed to wait a while, right? That happens with Tully. I'd imagine that Tully is worse, colder, hot, very tropical. And I would say that Canungra is very demanding because of the gradients, etc. The Lantana apparently can drive a man insane. Shutter Island. I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I've never done Canungra, but I have done activities there.
There you go. Great answer.
Hey, Foxhound.
Yeah, just ignore what Foxhound's saying. He's just spamming up the chat with silliness. But we still love him. Okay, I don't know. Everyone's chatting amongst themselves. Have I missed anyone's questions? Has anyone got a question to repeat that I have missed?
Was that Ghosty down the bottom? My eyes, I can't autofocus, team.
Yeah, he says, "G'day, how is everyone?" That's Ghosty.
Hey, Ghosty, good to have you here. Guys and gals, make sure that if you consider being part of Lauren's channel too, if you want to put your link up there, please, Lauren. Same deal, Mr. Buckaroony, for those that, if we've got Buckaroony on there still.
I think he might have popped out. I was going to say popped off, but I know what you guys are like.
Yes, fart in a sleeping bag. I still laugh at it. Regardless of seeing whether terrain or Canungra, contours or Tully. Yeah, damn officers. They enjoy the plight of the soldier. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So XT just checked. She's with 4th Regiment.
Yep. Artillery.
Right.
Regiment
okay.
Artillery. Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brady.
Yeah, and we're proud of her, XT, and you're right to be proud of her too.
Documentary detective.
Wow, that's a great name.
That is a great name. Tell me something about yourself, mate.
He has with his comment, if you read it, Tully is Satan's garden. It
is.
Minutes, 365 days a year, snakes everywhere, leeches, diseases, hell on earth.
And you could believe that maybe First Blood was shot in Tully, and because the civilians there, are the same. I just want my country to love me like I love it. You turn up there, what are you doing here? When are you leaving? Seats taken, piss off AJ.
Yeah.
All while you can smell molasses, from 50 metres.
Okay, could you clear something up for me?
Yeah.
Do AGs go outside of the wire?
When?
That's what I want to know, ever.
No, but why would they? They have you got to remember that AGs don't seize the ground that they're protecting. It gets taken by infantry. And then from there, that ground gets handed over to AGs. And then from there, once they have a protective perimeter around that vital asset set up, then the infantry go, so we're happy now, we put our packs on, and then we go out and then seek out and close the enemy, kill or catch him, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of whether it's rain.
Right, so Simon Powell is quite right in saying that AGs work inside the fence line to defend an airfield.
That's right.
Because someone has said that they go outside of it.
That wouldn't be part of their job.
Right.
Yeah.
So documentary detective, I believe you're incorrect about that. If you have a reason to think otherwise, let us know.
And if they do go outside the wire, what there would be is a radius, a circular radius that would be around their area of influence, where they can go and dominate and project their security out there to keep or deny the threat force movement. Okay, so in that case they may, but it's not going to be far. Absolutely not. There might be some little AOs that surround it. Okay.
Would that not defeat the purpose of their role?
Well, they're a static. They're to look after a vital asset.
Yeah.
And what's more vital than an airfield? It's as vital as anything, because it's where our supplies come in.
They don't go hunting down the enemy like you guys do.
No.
That's totally different. Totally different.
Well, they might do it in exercises to learn how to do their attacks and all that sort of stuff, but no.
Not in the actual job. Okay, Mark Zamp has a question for you. Kaz, do you foresee any future conflicts Australia could be involved in?
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't like this, but the world changed when 45 got taken over by 46, whether that was legitimately or not. Okay, we have seen in only 4 months, the world's atmosphere is changing. Pax, the peace in the Middle East is now nothing. We're seeing continual punches being thrown from a unrecognised state, okay, at another recognised state. We can't actually name these because we'll get chopped down straight away. And basically what's occurring is the spin from the left is that, those with the Star of David are the aggressors, and that's not the case. I've lived in that location, and I've come away from there after the Camp David Accords being the head of security, more confused than what I was before I went there. But I'll make a quick comparison to you. And this is kind of answering what we're talking about before, and that is there is a lot in common with what's happening in Ireland, what happened in Ireland, okay, what happens in locations, gang style, USA, and what happens in the other area where some of the fight is about religion, some of the fight is about money, and some of the fight is about power, and some is grievance for losing someone valuable to them, loved in their family. Can it end? Maybe not. Maybe it can't. You know, and it's a really, really great subject that can fire people up. You know, but sometimes when you're away from a situation, you can look at it with open eyes, and don't be afraid once you take emotion to look at the past if you actually could ever get both sides and be able to have a clearer view. You know, but that's not where we're going. You know, we're not going to be putting people on the ground per se, do I believe, in a location that's the same colour as a red corn chip. Okay? There is going to be fallout locations where if Australia goes anywhere, I think it's more or less going to be either asymmetric, or it's going to be asymmetric with non-state actors that are coming in from different directions, maybe not even dressed conventionally, and being part of that while we support a sanctioned country that's asked for help by invite, which makes it a United Nations mission, or makes it a NATO mission, or makes it a policing action, or makes it a peacemaking action. But I don't think you're going to use the words Whiskey Alpha Romeo as such. All right? Yep, absolutely. No one thought we were going to go overseas again after Vietnam. And we've basically been, for the last 30 years, involved in some areas you'd go, how the hell did we end up over there? You know, and it's because of our political ties, because we are friends with other nations that call on us, and we say we've got to say yes, because one day we're going to be asking for help and we need them to say yes. It's called an alliance. And I know Lauren likes this one.
Yep.
Australia is not the country that stands by, except when in Rwanda, and watches shit go down without saying, not on my watch. If you hear a scream in the night as an individual, whether that be Breddy Cars, whether it be Cane and Peppers, whether it be Stoddy, you know, whether it be Billy there, whether it be Marky Zamp, whether it be documentary doco detective, okay, if you hear someone going off, you know, then what's going to happen is next door, you're going to go and knock on the door to break the momentum of whatever's happening there, the possible injustice, and go, oi, out loud, then take a few steps back and go, what's going on? Team, is everyone all right in there? You know, do you want to come out and just relax, separate yourself? We go and investigate and make sure that we look out for the scream in the night. That's exactly what happens when a country goes to another country on invite, and when they say, please help me, put me in protective custody, other countries come in and go, okay. But some countries have a louder voice than others, and that can be sad. But if you're going to come in and go and represent and come back with boxes with flags attached, then you have to be able to say before you go over there, is the price worth it, and can we win? And are we putting our hands behind our back? And are those that will never go and check the scream in the night the ones actually tying our hands behind their back? If they are, they shouldn't be able to vote on that situation. Because when a politician fails, that's normally when someone calls up the military. And what we're seeing USA right now is those that answer the scream in the night have lost faith in the person that stays inside the house and sends them out. And they're writing letters about that right now. So who do you listen to?
Do you have the special piece of paper in lieu of the Magic Invisible book?
I do.
Okay, we have Angus Kennedy, who's off on June the 28th.
Okay.
And Berto, he leaves for Kapuka in 8 days.
Oh. What date is that he's going?
8 days. I don't know what the date is.
What's the date today? What's his name?
Her toe. Like her toe, but together.
I hope it's not ingrown. Toenail. June and 8 day. Sorry. That would make it May. It's 15th today, isn't it? Okay, so that would make it 23rd. Roughly. Well, I tell you what, mate. I tell you what. You're going to be there in time to be freezing cold in IETs and freezing cold in Kapuka. Bear pits. You know, drill will be one of the worst things where you've got to stand there, shut up unless you're calling the time, you know, with your silly haircut, screaming 1, 2, 3, 1, up stop, 2 stop, 3 stop, check down away. Yeah. Salute to the right, salute, all these things. It sucks. And you're going to be out there for 40-minute blocks, and you might be doing 4 or 5 of those lessons a day. And if you don't get it right, you're going back out. I don't know if they make you wear Speedos anymore. They used to make us wear Speedos, and it was the most weird feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 17th.
Yeah, I mean...
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean is right.
Yeah, and you were right, Sean.
Well done, sir. He's named after being right. Oh, man, where are we? I love that one because it has the perception that it's warm and cuddly, but in actual fact, that could be 0 degrees. Just because there's no snow, people think, oh, that can't be too bad. Well, that guy in the distance.
I'm sort of playing whack-a-troll at the moment. It's like whack-a-mole, but they're trolls.
Well, sometimes we say things that people don't agree with. You know, we do. You know, I couldn't think of anything worse than thinking 100% this way, but then being told, no, that's not actually true.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to draw the line at infantry being jealous of Adgies. I had to draw the line.
There is nothing. Look, I'm going to quickly put that one to bed, and I'll do this with an example. The only time that I've ever worked, you know, beside Adgies was once we took the airport, cleared it, made it safe for them, dodged the accidental negligent discharge that one of them did that nearly hit one of our soldiers. Okay, then allowed them to get themselves into position before we flew off in helicopters to go and secure another airfield, only to hear that one of them had been run over by a slow-moving forklift. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not impressed. And,
they seem to really hate it that you aren't impressed. They like really get like, you know, Kynan said, the butt hurt is real.
The one thing you can be sure of when you see an Adgie is that he's got steak stuck between his teeth.
But you know what? Our Raffy Simon put that joker in his place. Our Raffy Simon, he sorted him out. Now, be like Simon, okay? Don't be like those Adgie folk.
I don't dislike you because you're Raff.
No, exactly. Simon's a great example. Simon's got a fantastic sense of humour. He's proud of his service.
Yeah.
He's great.
I tease the Navy more than anyone, but it's my second choice of service.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, imagine being in one of the best boats in the world and you're getting paid to be on it instead of paying for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's always Adgies. It's always Adgies. I don't know.
Simon, if I tell him that, you know he's just going to do the opposite. Don't look at Simon's comment. Just keep going. Okay, Dylan Lambo's off. Good night, Lambo.
Hey, Dylan, have a good night, mate, and thank you very much. We're going to get out of here too.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think some of the things with the Adgies too is we've seen the way they treat other Raffies.
Yeah, you know, because like,
and it's unkind.
And you know, he's done. You know, he's a really good representative for them.
He is. Someone's trying to encourage me. Who's this? Sorry. Wakey was Vids. If you, team, well, for starters, thank you very much for the shekels. And the other one is Vids. If you's actually, you know, we say this all the time. I support Lauren. Lauren supports me.
Yep.
But if you have a YouTube channel, team, we're discovering great YouTube channels all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You have permission to put your link right now, quickly explain it and tell us what it is, and put it in chat. We've got no problems here. We want you to be successful too.
Yeah, exactly. We'll check it out. We'll go leave a comment.
Yep. While I go and have my Aldi's fried rice.
Yes, indeed. I'm just going to have a cup of tea and go to bed, I think. But I'm really excited for tomorrow morning at my channel because I've got some other Aussie YouTubers joining me.
And that's at 9:30, yeah?
9:30, yeah, exactly. And it's set up as a premiere, and the actual folk I'm talking to will be there for the premiere. So if you have any individual questions for them, you can jump in and ask them in the chat.
My question to the chat is, thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. Do you believe that ghosts are real? Or do you believe that ghosts are, or you don't believe in ghosts?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you not believe in ghosts, but you do believe in something paranormal, dark energies, etc.? Because I tell you, I've been to some locations where I've seen humans at their nastiest. And although I don't believe in ghosts, I have felt really, really dark energy before, which I can't explain, and it's an entire body experience. I don't believe in ghosts, but I felt dark energy.
Both, because I'm not decided. Yeah, a bit of both. Some folk tell me things that are really spooky. I've had some experiences myself, but I don't know what it is. But I don't know. Too many people have too many experiences. So I've actually got some paranormal investigators on the channel tomorrow. So if you've got any questions, come and say hello.
Ghosty doesn't believe in ghosts. I love it.
Ghosty, come on now.
That has to be the morale of this stream. Thanks, Ghosty. Jamie White. Good to have you here, Jamie, the lurker. He's not down for it. XT's not down for it. Oh, Joshy Fawns.
343 from Mark Zamp for you, Kaz.
Daz reckons his undies are haunted.
Daz.
Can you please read that? My eyes are done.
Yeah. Mark Zamp has said, here's the 343 you've been waiting for. Thanks, Kaz.
Not too cow there, Senor Zamp. Take it easy, mate. And I tell you what, the colour of your donation is the same colour of the lips of those that are going to Kapuka and Singleton, or even to Puckapunyal, or basically anywhere to the military in the next 6 months. It sucks, and there's nothing you can do about it. And yep, you'll still get in the pool. They say that the pool in Singleton is not haunted, but they say it is heated. And I think that's fake news, despite the fact that it's indoors.
You don't believe in heated.
I do believe in heated debate. I know a ghost when there's work parties. I'm that ghost too, Dave. And Jay has found a parrot.
Yeah, look, come on. You know what it's like between North Side and West Side. It's basically the Crips and the Bloods. So
it is,
okay.
It is.
We're talking some crud now. We better get out of here.
All right, team, let's roll out of here. Although that one, just for a bit of clarification, when we come on here, we talk about what the subject is going to be about, but it doesn't need to be about necessarily the title for the entire time that we speak for. So in summary, should you enlist in infantry in 2021, and I absolutely, hand on heart, if I didn't have a knife there, say absolutely, I think that you should. I think there has never been a better time to join infantry, to be able to separate yourself from the politics and feminisation of the modern man, to allow you to go on a fully paid for Kentucky tour with lifelong friends, to push yourself to the absolute maximum, like the fuel line for Kramer when he drove the tank on empty. Guys and gals, don't be afraid of the cuts and the bruises. I want you to succeed. I'm here to help you. I've got a channel just to do that. Dare to be different. And look back one day and know that there's those that haves and those that have nots with money, but there's also those that haves and have nots with love, and there's those that haves and have nots with living life. And I want you to live life. I want you to look back. I want you to have the stories. And your only regret should ever be that you couldn't have done it longer. Because that's where mateship comes from. Tenacity,
Yes.
resilience, experience, and knowing that those guys and gals, regardless if you like each other, still have each other's back. And you know what? If you're an Aggie, I've got your back too. So take it easy, team. Don't get butt hurt. Just have a laugh or start another channel and start with shooting my videos down. We'll all be good.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, guys. Jay Hayes, West Side.
Did you see what he said?
No.
He's talking about cheese toasties and Gwilliam is under your bed, Kaz.
That, sir, is also fake news. And please, guys and gals, do not go and look at Gwilliam on Altar. You cannot reclaim what you see. It is the most disgusting thing that I can... It's terrible. You don't deserve it. Lockie. Mate, I'm just going to dedicate this quickly because I didn't want Lockie, who came on here inspired to be an Aggie, now walking away going, what the hell do I do now?
Yeah, no, it's fine. And don't let that other dick put you off either.
Yeah, well, I was being a bit of a dick too. Lockie, what I'd say to you, mate, is have three choices, my man. Lockie times three. Okay. What I'd say to you is don't just stick with one service. Just like I'd say to someone, if you want to be a helicopter pilot, you also might want to be a submariner, and you also might want to be a fast air pilot, whatever. What I'm saying to you is do the research and understand there is biases, there is disinformation, etc. But, mate, we are more than happy to help you with your journey. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you for becoming a member. You know, the channel will be nothing without the great people that come and populate the comment sections. Watch the videos, especially on the U session, the assessment session, okay, and the PFA.
And keep us posted how you go. We want you to succeed. Indeed, we do.
Mucho succedo.
Yep. Shall I make you a cheese sandwich?
I'd love a cheese sandwich, but not by William. Take it easy, team. I'm going to go and spend some time with my little lady. Yep. Hey, PK, brother of AZ, or father of AZ. See you later. Take it easy. Diddy Meow from the village, and if you do, bring me back a couple of those and I'll treat them right. See you later. Jeez, I wish they were dragging me somewhere. Oh, it's been too long. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. I want to wake up with her and all her friends.
You'd help them get out of there, wouldn't you?
Me and Daz, all the way, Velma and Louise.
Yeah. You wouldn't have room for them.
We would. We'd stack them in the ute.
Yeah.
See you later. Take it easy.